Hello Stampers, it's Amy with Stampin' Magic. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I have for you the first project in my Creepy Crafts Halloween series, and I'll be bringing you 7 projects back to back for one whole week. So our first project is this cute little milk carton, and it can hold lots of goodies and lots of treats. It's a really nice size. It's using the Toil and Trouble DSP, and you've got these cute little ghosts here. We'll be using a label punch and this amazing ribbon. So let's get started. So you'll be needing the Labels to Love stamp set and punch. This is a really fantastic stamp set. It's got lots of different sentiments on for all times of the year. So it's a really great one to have if you want to make tags or just have labels for treats or to put a sentiment on your card. This is a really great one to have. So we'll be using this today. Other bits you'll need: some Whisper White. You'll be needing cut pieces of the Toil and Trouble DSP. Again, those ghosts are so cute. And on the other side you've got stripes. Really lovely fun set. All the measurements for these will be on my blog, which is in the description bar below, so do check that out. You'll be needing some Highland Heather, and we're going to be backing this behind our DSP, and another scrap for our tag punch. And you'll be needing some basic black cardstock. This measures 8.5 by 6.5 inches, and this is to create our box. And you'll also need some of this beautiful ribbon. I don't know if you can see there, it's really shiny, really lovely. And this is called the Glittered Organdy ribbon. Absolutely lovely. Not just for Halloween, you can use this on birthday cards, you can do black and white Christmas cards with it. It's really sparkly, really pretty, so it could be used for lots and lots of different things. You also need some white twine, some Memento black ink, the Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Write marker, and a hole punch or a crocodile punch or something to make a small hole in the top. And for this project I will be using my scoreboard. So I'm hoping I've got a lot of stuff on my desk, so let me just move some of that out of the way. Okay, so I can bring that up so you can see. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the scoreboard, and we'll do all our scoring first. So bringing in your black piece, we're going to be putting it on the long side first. So that's the 8.5 side, and we're going to be scoring that at 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches. And then you're going to want to turn it to the 6.5 inch side, and you're going to want to score at 2, 5, and 6. We're going to turn it back round to the 8.5 length side, and we need to score a couple more bits. So we need to score at 1 down to this line only, and at 5 again down to that first line, the thin line only. So I don't know how well you can see that. So you can see there we're scoring in the middle of these two down to that halfway mark. Okay, and then at 3 we're going to put a little dot, and at 7 we're going to put another little dot, and I'll tell you why. We'll do that later. That's for our punching. Okay, so put the scoreboard to one side and get a ruler. If you've got a metal one, that'll probably work better. And where you have these lines where we've scored down to this first line, on these two, we're going to score from the middle using our ruler, meeting up to there. Okay, so this will help the box close a little bit easier. So from the top there down to the corner, And the same for this one. And down to the corner. So you'll have what looks like that. I will put a diagram and all the measurements and instructions on my blog also, so you can follow that. Okay, so we are going to do a little bit of cutting. So on this piece here, we're going to cut a little tab. So you want to cut down here, and we're going to want to do that at a slight angle, and again cut a notch there. So that makes our tab bit there. And then again, you want to cut at a slight angle, these two bits. This one, this side, you want to cut straight. This is going to be the front of our box. And then cut this one at an angle. And again, this side straight, so that this whole square is absolutely square. Like so. Let's get rid of them. So that's what you'll have once you've done your cutting. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to reinforce all those score lines. So make sure you burnish them really well. Okay, and this one coming in. This top thin one, you want to do the opposite way, going out. Okay, and then all these are coming in. Okay, and the little triangles, you want to like pinch them slightly inwards like that. So just get that cardstock moving. Okay, so that'll be all good. Okay, so we're going to bring in our punch, and we're going to do this while the box is flat. So halfway down here, on that line, you're going to want to punch. So like that, halfway down on that line we're going to punch. And this little notch is going to help us also. So halfway down from that little notch and punch. And the same here, on the line, halfway down and punch. And follow the notch halfway down and punch. Okay, so you can mark a line across there to make them absolutely straight, or use your ruler, but as long as they're about right, you'll be fine. Okay, so now we're going to be putting together our DSP pieces while the box is flat. If you prefer to put the box together then do it, that's absolutely fine, whatever your preference is. So we're going to be putting this gorgeous DSP, which I absolutely love, onto the Highland Heather cardstock. So it's got a very thin border, and then we'll be placing that onto all of these sections here. These thin strips we'll be putting again onto the Highland Heather, so it's got a nice border, and the top bits that don't have the little triangle, we'll be putting that on that one and that one. So all four of these will have cardstock and DSP, and these two that don't have the triangle score lines will also get these. So I'm going to speed up the video and I'll come back to you in a second. So that is the DSP placed onto the cardstock and onto the box base. And I've chosen Highland Heather to back behind here because that's the colour of these little ghosts here. So if you want to know what colours to use, if you look at the back of the DSP pack or on the Stampin' Up website under where the DSP is, it will tell you and list all the colours that are in the pack, so you know which ones to coordinate best with it. And I just think it's a really beautiful colour. Love that. Okay, so now we're going to put the rest of the box together. So this tab here, you're going to want to put glue on. So you can either use some tear and tape, or Tombow. I like Tombow, it is strong and gives you some wiggle room. So if we fold that in and bring this one towards it, that should line up perfectly. Okay, so we're going to burnish that down, and I always like to fold it that way and also burnish it. Make sure it's really well burnished together. Okay, so now for the base. So our front is this one here. So this is the front of our box. So that's the one we've left completely square. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this one in, put some glue on there, okay, and bring this one over. Okay, and this one, put some glue on here. Make sure it's on the side there, and then bring this one over. And then this last one will be completely square to cover up all those lines. So you want to put the Tombow on this piece here. Make sure you get nice around those edges. Ooh, not too much because it will spludge out. Okay, and then line that up neatly. Okay. So I'm just pushing the bottom down to make sure it's nice and stuck together. Okay. And now because we've put in these score marks here, when we pinch the box together, so if you put your finger into that point there and push it together, it's going to go together really nicely. Okay, and then that's the shape you'll have. Okay, so bringing in the Whisper White and our Memento Black ink, I'm using the Halloween Sentiment, and I'm going to ink that up. Make sure it's nice and inked, and stamp it on my scrap here. Okay, and that's all the stamping we're doing, nice and easy. Okay, and then I'm bringing in my Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Write marker and to colour in where it says Have a Hauntin' Halloween. So I'm going to use the thin end for Have a Hauntin'. Okay, and I'm using the brush end for Halloween. Okay. And then you're going to want to grab your punch and line it up with a nice border. I like to push it down slightly and then just double check. It's not going to go anywhere because I've pushed it down slightly but not too much, so I can double check it's okay, and then push down, and you'll have that. And we're also going to need to punch Highland Heather. Ooh. So we've got one of each of those, and we're done with the punch. Okay, so what we're going to do for this is grab some scissors and we're going to chop this in half. Right down the middle there. And this is so we can expand it, so we can have a nice bit of a border here. Okay. So you're going to want to put some Tombow on here. Don't go all the way to the edge there because that's where we're going to be placing this. And I like to line it up like so. I don't know how well you can see that. So it just kind of tucks out from there, and we're going to do the same for the bottom. Okay, and bring this forward over here. And there you have a nice tag with a Highland Heather border. So all coordinates lovely. So turning that over, we are going to get some of this beautiful ribbon. I've got some scraps here which I think I'm going to use. I'm going to get some tear and tape just so I can place down my ribbon. Okay, so we want some nice tails. So let's take this off first. Okay, and then we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. So you don't want your dimensionals on these two end bits because they might slightly stick over the edge of the box. So just place them in the centre there. And then bringing back our box, I'm going to place that there like that. Okay. Forgot to mention you will need some rhinestones. I used just one, just to go in the centre of the back there. And then we're going to be bringing in our ribbon. Okay, so you're going to want to feed it through the front first and then the back. And the side holes just help it close in the middle. And then we've got some white baker's twine, which I'm going to tie around this top bit here. And this is what's going to keep it closed. And looking pretty, of course. Okay, so simply tie a knot. I double knot it just to make sure it's going to stay in place. Okay, and then we're going to want to trim it and trim these top bits here. Okay, and that is our Halloween tree milk carton. So like I said, this is the first of 7 tutorials coming to you, all Halloween themed. So I hope you do give it a go. Like I said, all the measurements and everything you'll need will be listed on my blog, which is in the description bar below. And I hope you give it a try. And try with some other DSP. The bats would look pretty awesome on this as well. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. The link to my blog and Facebook page are in the description bar below. Hope you have a lovely day. Happy crafting. Bye.